You're listening to the Unleash Your Success podcast, episode number 8. Today we are visiting with Tara Counterman, podcast coach and launch strategist, and we're talking all things podcasting. I do want to let you know we had a little bit of audio issues this episode with some beeping in the background from a smoke detector every once in a while. Don't let it distract you. Just listen to the content and focus on how podcasting might be a tool for you to help you unleash your success. I'm Angela Nauman, boy mom, bookie nerd, and amateur wine taster. After 20 plus years of my own entrepreneurial and personal growth journey, I became a life coach for women that sometimes just need a little Yoda in their life. I help the female entrepreneur that is stressed out, not getting stuff done, and wondering how to balance it all without being a moody witch. With a practical step-by-step plan, I guide you to renew your mind, build confidence, and balance life. So you can stop stressing, get stuff done, feel stronger and more confident as you show the world that you have what it takes. Friend, this is the Unleash Your Success podcast. Hey, friends. Angela Nauman here, and you are listening to the Unleash Your Success podcast. Today, I have my friend here with me, Tara Counterman. Tara Counterman is a personal development junkie, just like me, mama of 2, just like me, a ranger advocate. Okay, you're going to have to tell me about that. And if it includes wine or chorizo dip, count her in. Girl, I'm a wine drinker too. We can be friends. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I consider myself an amateur wine taster.
I think the whole taster part of that, we'll just throw that right out, right?
Yeah. Amateur wine drinker.
Yeah,
very professional.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited you're here. I cannot wait to share this with everyone because what you do, I don't know very many people that do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tara, my friends, is your go-to person for podcast everything. She is a podcast coach. She launches your podcast. She's a strategist for your podcast. She is the creator of the Profitable Podcast Productions. She helps coaches, course creators, network marketers, whoever needs it to help with their podcast, do all the things so they can create that binge-worthy content that is going to get them the sales and the clients, the claps, all the good things that we look for. She is who we go to. So Tara, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited, and I totally nerd out when I get to talk about podcasting. So yay! And it's super inception-y to be talking about podcasting while you're on a podcast. So I love it.
I know it's a little bit, it's surreal, isn't it? It is. So tell me about you. How did you get into the podcast niche? How did you find yourself into this place you're in now?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a really long story. So let's go back to when I was 18. I got into network marketing, and I was at the time I was working 3 retail jobs, 90 plus hours a week, and just trying to figure out how to be an adult. I actually had dropped out of college at that point, and was just trying to figure all the things out. So I got into my first network marketing company, and I'm forever thankful because I was bitten super hard by the entrepreneurial bug, super hard.
Right.
And so it ended up over the past couple of years and starting a family, I kind of went through a couple different companies trying to find my home and my thing. And to be completely honest, while I wasn't a fall on your face failure, I never found that next level success that I was looking for, but I continued to invest in personal development. I continued to work on myself, and to be okay with failing. And that can be really hard, but
it's definitely something you have to learn.
Yes.
And that's something I always spend a lot of time teaching my clients about is we really have to get uncomfortable or comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
We do.
Yeah. And there's so many lessons in each of those failures, and kind of and when I say failure, I just mean that I didn't get to that level that I wanted, right? There is no such thing as failure if you come out of it with some type of lesson.
Right.
And I feel like now in the position that I'm at, laying it all out, it all made so much sense to get me to this point now. So I finally kind of broke out of the network marketing industry when I started my own podcast to build my personal brand as a network marketer. And I had so many people coming to me asking, Tara, how did you start a podcast? How do you do this? How did you figure the tech out? Like, what about the strategy? Is there any? And I found that they were a lot of times asking the wrong questions when it came to what was most important in starting their podcast. It was about the fancy microphones and how much it was going to cost, instead of like the real sales strategy and the real way to help it build your business.
Right.
I find that a lot of entrepreneurs start a podcast to check it off their list because it's something that is extremely popular right now.
Yeah. If you're a real entrepreneur, you have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. They're just checking it off their list, and they're going about it in a way that's a lot of messy inspired action, which is amazing, but they're not thinking about what it can truly do for you as an entrepreneur, especially someone building your own personal brand. Even in network marketing, it so applies because you should be building your business, not the business of your company. So it just all completely fell in line when I had everyone coming to me, and I resisted it for a long time because I didn't want to, like, quote unquote, fail again or to walk away from something else. I was so self-conscious about people judging me for switching my business again. I felt like I was under a microscope because I had done it 10,000 times. Like, is she ever going to pick something? No one noticed. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, they're not watching you, friends. They are not watching you.
So I finally just kind of got over that. And I was like, why don't I try to take on some clients to maybe inject some money into my business? And then it just all spiraled from there. Within, within 33 days, I had gone from struggling to make, $1,000 a month to I had my first 8K in sales in 30
Shut the front door. That is awesome. That is so fantastic.
So it was just crazy. And it really speaks to the power of, like, when you find your thing, when you narrow down, and when you step into your zone of genius, that, like, things just happen.
Tara, that is just amazing. I love that story. That first 33 days was had to be an absolute whirlwind as you were going through that time.
Oh, yeah.
What was the struggle of that time? Because as a mindset coach, I know that those 33 days also were full of challenges, that it wasn't just this magical moment of all of a sudden money just starts flowing in, that there had to have been some challenges and some things you had to overcome as an entrepreneur that propelled you through those days. What was that?
Yeah. So I really had to decide that I wasn't the only one that could do it in the way that I wanted it done. And I had to start team building very, very quickly. I had to really slow down after those first, after probably the first 2 to 3 weeks of that first 33 days, I had to stop. I stopped taking client calls, which was really, really hard to do. It's really hard to, like, slow down to then speed up, which is what my coach always says. Sometimes you just have to slow down to speed up. And I really needed to slow down, make sure that I was super organized, that all our systems were in place, that I was hiring the right people, putting them in the right positions, and that I was empowering them to really take this seriously with me and to help me build this business. Because I went from a solopreneur to now being CEO. Like, I had to fully step into that.
You have a decent sized little team working for you.
Yeah, we have 5 people that range from, graphics and audio to copywriting. I mean, the whole deal.
Wow. Okay. So can we take a minute and explore this slow down to speed up thing?
Yes.
For most entrepreneurs, we think we just have to hustle our ass until it gets all done. And the thought of slowing down scares so many people, because the thought is that little lingering mean girl we have inside of us would tell us, oh, if you slow down, if you're not constantly working your business, then you're throwing it away. It's never going to happen. So
Yeah.
I know you had to go through a lot of mindset work to slow down so you could speed up, but what did it look like for you to do that? Like, what was going through your mind? What was happening for you in your business when you did that? And I know you told us a little bit about that. Can you dive a little deeper into that for us?
Yeah. So it's funny because you would think that when you have that big of a shift in the way that your business, like your whole business landscape just changed, like, right, I've made it, this is amazing. It was like this inner complete freak out. Like, I can't do this. I can't believe that I told people I could do this. What did I get myself into?
Oh my gosh, they gave me money. Now what do I do?
Like, which obviously I knew all of that stuff,
Yeah.
but that, like you said, that inner mean girl just came out and she like attacked. And I was really in a position where with my girls, they're 4, and I think I said 2 earlier, but now that she just turned 3. So we're 3, and it was a lot to go from having a business that I felt like I could step away from when I needed, and it wasn't that bad because it wasn't making that much money, to like, I now have clients that are depending on me. I have commitments that I've made, and it was just a total and complete mindfuck. Like, to be completely honest,
Right,
like,
absolutely.
you really feel like you're going to step into like, yes, I've made it. And it was like all of the next level limiting stuff just came and sat right down.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happens. So that's so normal. And to know that that's going to happen
Yep.
is a really good, to be prepared that there's no arriving at this next level. I love that you said that. We don't just arrive and go, yay, I've hit it. I might go sit on the beach, guys. It's not like that.
I've made it.
That you truly, like, that next level stuff just came and sat on you. I absolutely love how you describe that, because that's exactly what happens. And it's like, you've heard the saying probably before, new level, new devil. And that's exactly it.
It's so true.
We continue to work on. It's crazy. So what became your aha moment during that time?
So I was at my grandma's. We were visiting. I'm originally from Michigan and she lives in Michigan. So me and the girls try to go up there a couple times a year. And this was like within that first couple weeks where I had like signed on clients, and it was like my systems were good when they were just me and my podcast and all the stuff that I had set up for myself. But when you start adding on other clients and bigger things, like there's some processes and some kinks out and things like that had to happen. But that aha moment for me was, we were, my grandma and I were sitting after the girls had gone to bed, and we stayed up and, chatted and visited. And then she went to bed at 10 o'clock and I was up until 3 o'clock because I felt like I had to get things done. And that was this moment where I was like, okay, this is my next level expansion. I need to hire a team because I see the possibility. My zone of genius is the strategy. My zone of genius is the coaching. And it's the showing up in podcasts and lives. And it doesn't have to be that I have to do all things.
Absolutely.
I think for entrepreneurs, whether you're in a service-based business or not, we decide that we have to be all things, and then we aren't able to step in fully to our zone of genius. Like, you have to outsource stuff, whether it's small or big or whatever level you're at. There is someone out there. There is some way. I did trades when I first started in my entrepreneur journey, and I knew that I needed help, but I couldn't afford it. I traded services. I traded areas of expertise. Like, there are ways to get it done, but you can't do everything yourself.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true. I recently just hired my first virtual assistant, and it's freeing. Mm-hmm. It really is, especially when, like you said, like I hired one to help me with social media. I don't find great pleasure in social media. I still am on it every day.
Right.
to have someone help me with the graphics, to have someone help me with Instagram stories, or, if I create a video, to have them help me get it on IGTV, little things like that, to have someone just post my Pinterest graphics from my blog to Pinterest. Doesn't seem like much, but when I'm working, my time has to be spent in things that are truly growing my business. And posting a graphic to Pinterest is not what I needed. And so I think that is, and it was scary. It was really scary because it was not just a commitment to free up some time for myself, but it was a commitment to another person as well. So, but I think it truly opens another realm of possibilities for us. I think it opens a door that if we didn't, would leave us shackled. And if you're an online provider, you're a coach of some type, you're a network marketer. Network marketers, I think, don't think of hiring someone, but why not?
Well, not only why not, but your uplines who are making big money, right? Those top leaders in the company, they might not be telling you that's what they're doing, right? Because they have to be duplicatable. They have assistants. Yeah. They have coaches. There's so much that goes on behind the curtain that's not duplicatable to the brand new person coming into network marketing, that can't make those investments, that can't make that next step. But if you want to be a next level network marketer, you have to invest in yourself. You have to learn real business strategies. No more of the cold messaging, hey girl bullshit. Like you need this, seriously. Like,
so true. I saw this Instagram profile later. It said, I help you, and I don't remember what it was, without hey girl messages. And I was like, oh my gosh, this person I love.
Yep.
Because I did all that. I did it.
I did too. Yeah.
And when I stopped and found new ways to grow myself, man, everything exploded without hey girl.
Yep.
I was just thinking of you. No.
Just because you're a network marketer doesn't mean that you don't have a business. Like, yes, you are providing, products from a company, but you're not growing their business. You're trying to grow your own. So you really need to step in, treat yourself like a business owner, and serious business owners don't do things all on their own.
No. I think what we forget is along with that product comes some type of service. Mm-hmm. So what is your service that you're setting you apart from everyone else? And that's not just with network marketing, that was with coaches and bloggers and course creators. What is your service that you provide? What's unique about you that no one can get anywhere else? And I think tuning into what makes you is vital. It's vital. And it's like someone asked me this today because I was saying something, and my friend Mindy, which I've had here on the podcast, she said, would you want your boys to be afraid to just be authentically themselves? And I was like, no, I want them to own who they are with every fiber of their being. And it takes a whole new perspective of what we want for ourselves then, would you say that to your children? No, then stop saying it to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would encourage anyone who's trying to grow their business, even if it's finding someone for 5 hours a week to help you, go find your 5 hours a week friend.
Yep.
Because it does change things. So,
well, and not only that, there are ways. So I think as entrepreneurs, we fall into this trap that we are the only ones that can do something. We're the only ones that can do it right. That's bullshit. Like, come on, really?
Right.
So, we got to stop believing that, because if you are particular about something, if you have a plan, a system, it's your job then as the visionary to set it up so that other people can carry out what they need to carry out, so that you can stay in your zone of genius,
right?
So that you can make the impact on your future clients, attract your ideal clients, and then literally they can take words and put them into Canva based on templates that you've created. Take a week, set up some templates, hire someone to go put some stuff in them. It doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah.
And then communicate. Yeah. That's what I told my VA is hey, let's just communicate until we get exactly what works for both of us. And you have to be willing to do that. So So if someone's out there thinking, well, I've thought about starting a podcast, or I don't know if that would be good for my business.
Mhm.
Do you have some tips for us that might really kind of help us get a little clarity maybe?
Yeah. So if you are, I'm trying to think of like who a podcast couldn't benefit. Like if you are an online entrepreneur, if you are building a network marketing business, if you're building a service-based business, if you are selling even a product, if it's like a specific like niche product,
Right.
niche, whatever.
Well, however you say it today.
Yeah, however you say it. That a podcast can benefit you because and there's a few different reasons. So podcasts are so great for attracting ideal clients because they're super bingeable.
Right.
People love to binge podcasts. They don't usually just go and listen to one and then get lost scrolling their feed. When they're in the podcast app, they're in the podcast app. And the beautiful thing about podcasts is they automatically play the next one.
Yeah, they do.
So if you continue to have content in there, it's gonna show up. So if you are someone who needs to reach your audience, a podcast is for you.
I love it.
It's that simple. If you need to reach and connect and build relationships with your audience, a podcast is for you. So some kind of tips that I have around that would be to make sure you're utilizing keywords. Not many people think of podcasts and keywords, but when you think of iTunes, like it is starting to become a search engine. If you type in a topic, it will pull up podcasts or podcast episodes that have that keyword in it. But you're also taking a podcast, and most people have show notes on their website. Well, your website is indexed by Google.
Right.
You can put Pinterest pins, right? So then you can utilize Pinterest. Keywords matter. And it's going to, if you just take that little bit of extra time to kind of plan and account for that, it's going to help you really grow and expand your reach instead of just saying, I want to start a podcast. I'm just going to go on and talk about whatever I want. If you do market research, if you do keyword research, you're going to attract those ideal clients through so many different avenues. So those are super important.
Can you, real quick on the keywords, can you use the same keywords like you would use in Pinterest as you would use in your iTunes and on YouTube? Like it can be just long tail keywords and short, whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Like I would do keyword research for the podcast the same as I would for anything else.
Okay.
So by creating that, then you're going to be able to use it to Pinterest. It's going to index on Google. So you want to make sure that you're using those low competition, long tail, very specific keywords, because that's how you're going to find your niche audience.
Awesome. This is so good. All right. So let's say they start their podcast, then they use their keywords. How do they bring people to them? How do they bring the sales from that?
I love this question. Okay. So podcasting is a long-term strategy.
Okay.
So, not a long-term, like a long game strategy. But it doesn't have to be. There are certain ways that we can speed things up. So one thing that I like to talk about is making the ask. You are providing free content. You are helping someone. Podcasts make such a huge impact. I can personally tell you from the ones that I listen to, they have helped change and sculpt my life, my business, my relationships. And I feel like even though those people have no clue what I am, or not what I am, who I am, even though they have no clue who I am, I have such a deep relationship with them. And that is valuable.
I think that is so true because I'm a big James Wedmore podcast listener, and I'm like, well, James, like call him by first name, like we're like besties. And he,
I always use that example. Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. And I'm like, Rachel this, or, I call them by names. Like we know each other because you do feel like you get to know them. You feel like you get to know their personality and the things that would make them laugh, make you laugh, because if you're listening to someone, it's because you click with them.
Well, and that is how word of mouth spreads. Like the best marketing that you can do. Like, yes, we have to have a social media presence.
Right.
Yes, we have to show up consistently, but word of mouth is more powerful than anything. So when you build and cultivate those relationships, like it's gonna spread. It's gonna spread, and podcasts are so shareable. So just really making sure that you're focused on building a relationship. All of your content doesn't have to be giving all of your secrets away for free. You can, people should really focus on their content being what coaches the person to a point where they can invest in themselves to work with you further.
Well, and I heard, I was in a class recently, and he was saying, you give them the what, and what was it? The what? You don't tell them how to do it. You give them what
and the why.
And the why. That was it. I couldn't think of the other, but you don't give them a how. So that's the how is inside your course. The how is inside your product. It's those things.
Your coaching. Yeah.
In your coaching, it's inside working one-on-one with you in whatever capacity. So I love that.
Not just that too, like depending on who your ideal client is, it might be someone that needs a little work, that needs a little confidence boosting, that needs a little affirmation that they are worthy of investing themselves. So it's not just pointing out and like picking at the scab why they need this, because they might not even have that belief in themselves yet.
Right.
So it's so important to like use your platform, use your influence to really raise people up, so that then they can have the biggest transformation with working with you. Because we all know it as entrepreneurs, we've all seen it. When we invest in ourselves, we show up big. That is where, and I used to think, I'm not gonna lie, I used to think this was only people who were like selling something said this, right? Like buy my stuff because that's where you're gonna have the biggest transformation. Like, yeah, okay. But it really is true.
Well, you don't have any skin in the game if you don't. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a coach, but what propelled me forward when I was in network marketing was actually what got me winning trips, that kind of thing, was hiring a coach. Because number one, I was going to make sure that my husband was okay, that I was having the action and the things I needed to, because I was paying someone to help me. And then I did what my coach said. If there was an exercise or something to work on, I was working on it, because I had invested and I wanted to make sure I was getting my money's worth. And I say that in quotations, but I wanted to get as much out of it as possible, because I had never invested in myself like that before. And that's what you have to realize, that when you go to try a new product, you go to start working with a new coach or a new online course or whatever it is that hits your hot button, you're not giving them money. What you're doing is investing in yourself. You're investing in your growth. You're investing in your future. And we see that when we start storefronts, that we invest in the building, we invest in the inventory and things like that, but we don't think of coaching or done for you services.
Learning new skills.
Yeah. Online courses. Those are investments to propel you forward. Because friends, you're either growing or you're dying. It's like a plant. I've said this before. You're either growing or you're dying. The plants, if they're not growing and flourishing and thriving, then they're on their way to death. And that's what it is. They don't just reach, like you said, we don't reach this point where we just arrive and we're at success and we're just maintaining success. No, you're growing or you're dying. Even when, like, if you stopped right now, those months are gone.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, but you don't want to forget your family and everything else. So there's a place to find that balance.
Oh yeah.
When you went to CEO in 30 days and you had to slow down so you could speed up, how did you told us you had that aha moment. What are some things you then did inside your life to keep that balance? Because you have 2 little girls, you have a husband, how did you balance this?
Yeah. So it was, it was a process. But I hired childcare. That was like one of the number one things, is that I needed someone in my home taking care of my girls, because I was able to get so much more done if I could just focus for a few short hours a couple times a week.
Right.
But I really said, yeah, like they're taken care of, they're having fun, right? We hired like a younger girl, she was like 14, and because I was home, it felt good. And it was great for her because it was her first job. It was great for the girls because they had so much fun playing. Like they looked forward to her coming every time she did. You know, it was just a couple times a week, but it really made such a difference in what I was able to accomplish and get done. So that was one thing that was so important. And then another was really setting boundaries for myself and sticking with them. So my husband and I kind of came to the agreement, okay, Monday through Thursday, I am in here at night to do interviews, to do whatever I want after the girls go to bed. And we really respect that boundary. And that took me, you know, like we had to talk about it and say, like, this could do this for our family. It has to be made a priority. And I can easily get distracted and lured into like, let's go outside and have a fire. Let's, you know, so I was like,
let's finish that bottle of wine. Yeah.
Monday through Thursday, it's work time. But then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I am like unplugged. It's family time. My team knows like that I will respond at some point, but it's not going to be quick. And it's okay. And if that means that they don't get, you know, if they're held up from something, then that's okay, because they should be taking time off too. And setting those boundaries for me was so, so important. I don't have Facebook notifications on my phone. I don't have like Instagram, any type of notification other than Boxer for my one-on-one clients and my team. That's it. That's it. And I'm just okay with that.
I love it. That's how I am. Boxer's my notification too.
Yep.
Yeah, for those clients.
You gotta have something, right?
Yeah, but well, and they know too, like, hey, I'm gonna get back with you as soon as I can. But you know, if it's on the weekend, it might be 24 hours or 12.
Well, or that's another thing too, is I set, even with clients in our contracts and our systems and everything, it says like I respond within 24 hours from Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. After Friday at 3 p.m., it won't be until Monday. No, I might be able to jump in. We might have a slow weekend, or, you know, it might just strike me right, and that's fine. But I can't guarantee, and that's just not part of what we're doing here. So,
and the thing is, we have to remember that most of us, there's no major emergency that's going to life alter your business.
No.
In what we have. I remember 25 years ago or 22 years ago, something like that, I was working with Mary Kay. Absolutely adore this company. And I still do. I still adore this company, everything they represent. But I just remember they kept saying, well, there's no such thing as a makeup emergency, you know, and there's really not. And you have to remember that in your business, that you don't have to just jump up and run to every time a customer or client or prospect snaps their fingers. We don't have to jump.
We get this mindset that like, if I don't show up within 5 seconds, they're going to go to someone else. They're going to stop buying from me. They're going to be really angry, blah, 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 all this stuff. The truth is that you feeling that way is, one, what's causing it.
Right.
Two, it means you're not building actual relationships, because if you're building relationships with your clients, they don't care.
No.
They want you to take time off. They want to see you happy and thriving. And as long as their stuff is on track, and things are going to happen, mistakes are going to be made. But you guys, like, you have to be able to step back and not be so afraid to mess up, or so afraid to miss the golden opportunity, right? The 5 seconds that you're going to step away from your phone, because that's just not how it works. And if you are having those situations happen, then I really suggest you sit down, like do some journaling on it, and figure out how you can cultivate relationships instead of, because what you would be doing at that point would probably be just making sales. And we want to really
one-time sales, most likely too.
Yeah. Relationship's so important.
It is. It really is. And that was one of the things I learned in network marketing, but even more so becoming a coach, because once I hired a coach, I saw that so much more, because it moved. Well, for me, I had to find some security in who I was as myself, for myself, before I could build those relationships strongly. Strongly, is that a word? In a way that just stayed. I had to build my personal relationship with myself before I could build strong relationships with others.
Yeah.
And it's just vital. It's just vital. I find it's vital. But it goes right back into all the mindset work you're doing. If there's something there, that if you're lacking confidence and that's spilling out and people are noticing, the good thing is you can create it. You can grow confidence. You can build confidence. But
Well, and
it takes time.
I don't remember what the statistic is, but like so much of sales, so much of relationship building is all nonverbal. So you could be saying something and it not even matter because you don't believe it. You don't have confidence in yourself. You're not sure of what you have, what you can do, what you offer, like who you are as a person, what value you provide in the world. Like if you don't have that stuff, I mean, what are you doing anyway? Because people are going to be able to see that, feed that. So much of what we're doing is energy, whether you're in network marketing, whether you're a coach, whether you have an online course, whatever it may be, like it's more of an energy exchange than it is like actually what you're saying.
That is so true. That is so true. And if they feel like they're draining every time they talk to you, they're not going to keep talking to you. Yep. But when they feel like renewed, energized, hopeful every time they are with you, it's a whole different ball game. That is so true. That is so true. So do you have any other tips you want to share with us?
Oh, okay. So we talked about keywords and confidence there. And
team building.
Yes, team building. Oh my gosh, so important. I would say like I know what we should talk about. 80% of the content that you create, 80% of your content that you're posting on social media should be repurposed. You should be creating content 20% of the time. Let's talk about this.
Yes, I am so huge on this. I write my blog. It ends up being a podcast. It goes on YouTube. It's all the email, in the email, it's in everything I do. Mm-hmm. Guys, work smart. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, and I think podcasting is such an amazing platform to take that long form, that like macro content, and then to really break it down, because you're talking IGTV clips, you're talking YouTube, you're talking your podcast, you can go do a Facebook Live, do an interview on Facebook. And as long as you record it in a way that you're conscious of your pauses, hey, thanks so much for joining, so that you can cut that part out.
Right.
Guys, we can repurpose all of this stuff. And so you can go live on Facebook, utilize it for that platform, download it, strip the audio, edit the audio, put it on your podcast, take the video and make IGTV clips, make a Pinterest pin and different quotes and audio graphics, and be able to spread that and sprinkle it all around. You're building brand recognition.
Yes.
You're building trust. You're building like consistently showing up. People notice that. And subconsciously, they're looking for people who show up for a little while and then stop, because that means you're not trustworthy.
Because they see that all the time. Mm-hmm. They see that all the time.
Yep. So you have to be like mind-numbingly consistent. But if you make that one piece of long-form content, if you do, let's just say some people record better, not on Facebook Live. So like, let's just say you don't want that to be part of your strategy. That's fine. Record your podcast, do it with video still, and then give it to someone else to do all of the rest of the things with, because your hands don't need to be on that.
It's true.
They don't need to be on that. But you can continue to spread your message and to show up and to repurpose all that stuff. So repurposing, working smarter, not harder. And seriously, 20% creation, 80% repurposing. Like that number, write it down, like circle it, hang it up on your wall. Because if you are creating content more than online entrepreneurs especially, right? We're writing Facebook posts constantly.
Yeah.
Maybe we're doing little Facebook Lives or Instagram stories, stuff like that. When you do all of that micro content, you can't really build it up into the macro content.
Right.
If you start with the bigger part and break it down, you can get it transcribed and use it as a blog post.
And that's cheap. I do that. I do that.
Oh, I do too. I have a program that I pay I think it was like $15 a month. So I bought it for the whole year, and it's $1 an hour.
Who are you using?
It's sonics.ai.
Okay. I'll have to
and it's like an automatic thing. And if anyone wants a code, I have a code for like 100 free minutes, so you can try it out.
I'll just tell you, go ahead and you message me the code later. Cause I've been using Trent, and it's wonderful, but I'm always looking for whatever's a great deal. I think it's Trent. I've been using, they were great.
Yeah.
And it's so fast.
They so are. But what I love about Sonics, and here I'm going to go, I'm not sponsored by Sonics.
I know, we're just like,
but you can actually highlight audio and download little clips. So like, instead of having to go through a whole video to pick out what part you want, you can just highlight it and download it in either like MP3. So I do that to create my little audio graphics that are on the picture. And then I can be really strategic about what I'm pulling and so instead of just saying like, oh, this looks good, then I can pull it for IGTV and download it as a video. Like, it's amazing.
Girl.
Those caption files.
See, so, friends, this is why we listen to podcasts right here, because you get that little one nugget and you run.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to be on this later tonight. That's so cool. That is awesome. I love this so much. So what I want to ask you as we kind of wrap things up, what does it mean to you to unleash your success?
Oh, this is so good.
I didn't tell her I was going to ask.
No, I don't want to know that stuff. I just like to show up and have good conversations. So I have people ask all the time, do you want me to send you some questions? I'm like, nope. Yep. Okay. Wait, go ahead and say it one more time.
What does it mean to you to unleash your success?
Unleash your success. So for me, especially having kind of like recently gone through this whole process, it means to stop being scared of what everyone thinks and to just go out, show up in your zone of genius and really make the impact that you can make. Because you guys, this isn't just about sales. It's not just about income. Like, this community of online entrepreneurs truly they're building people up, they're inspiring people, and we're making lives better. And I love that I get to be a part of that. But if I had stayed afraid, and if I had said, oh, I've changed too many times, I can't, there are so many lives that would not be impacted in the way that are right now. And that's not even just my clients. That's the people that are following them. That's the people that are being inspired by the amazing things that they're doing, because this community is so amazing. And I'm going to get off my soapbox here, but that's
I agree so much. And, I've been in years ago, and I know friends that we've all been in work situations, professional situations, or a network marketing company, or wherever. We've all been in places where we feel in competition with the people next to us. But when you can find yourself in a space where the people next to you are not competition, but building you up, you will, it's another thing that just helps you go faster. It's, like, Tara has a podcast. I have a podcast. Do you think she's like, no, I'm not coming on your podcast? No. I mean, it's like, here we are. We talk together and we help each other grow. And it is one of those things when you can find people like that, latch on and be near those people.
And don't let go.
And don't let go. Don't let go. Like, Tara, you're stuck with me for years to come.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Because you have, and that just goes back to surrounding yourself with the kind of people you want to be. You don't
want to be this. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room.
No.
So I always
in the room either. Yeah. You just gotta surround yourself with people who feel brave and who are willing to try new things. It's okay to be the different person. Like, oh, this happens to me, and I bet this happens to you. As an entrepreneur, when going out with your non-entrepreneur friends, nobody gets us. Like we think so different. Like they support us. They're like, I love the little videos you do. That's so great. I'm so proud of you. And it's really like they genuinely mean it. And you're happy to hear that something you're doing makes someone else in your life happy or whatever. But we think so different. So you have to surround yourself with the other entrepreneurs who want to build you up as well, who want to see you succeed, who want to grow themselves and want to see other people grow.
Well, and we understand too that like how those and I don't want to say judgments, because a lot of them don't understand, and it comes from that protective place, right? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you spending so much time? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? They just don't understand.
Yeah, that comment, like, how much is that costing you? Like making sure you're not getting in too deep.
Right. Yep. But when you surround yourself with people who understand all of that stuff, it kind of gives you that level of support and that level of like, okay, I know that these people have my back, but also I know that someone who gets it is in my corner too. And it subconsciously, that makes a huge difference, because you're more able to say like, not everyone is going to understand, but this impact that I can make, this difference that I can make, like, I just got to do it and it's going to be fine.
Yeah,
even if they don't get it.
That's it. And that's okay. And let yourself, to me, part of that unleashing our success is letting ourselves be uniquely us. And unapologetically us. Yeah. You just go be you, because that, I believe we're put here with a purpose, and sometimes that purpose is just to be you and your very, very best self. You're at your highest level. And anyway, I'm going to get too deep and all down a whole different rabbit hole. That's a whole nother podcast there. So I just love that. So it's, I think your point is go help other people, go be unapologetically yourself and bring other people with you as you go on this journey. Cause it's so much opportunity. I love this so much. So how can my friends be in touch with you?
Yeah. Okay. So I am on Instagram. I like to be all up in my stories. I don't do a whole lot on the feed, but I do like my stories, and I've started really showing up on IGTV. So that's just at Tara_Counterman. I love Facebook. I know I'm kind of unusual in that way right now because Instagram is the trend, but I'm on Facebook. You can find me, just search Tara Counterman. And I have a brand new Facebook community that is for podcasters, for people who are thinking about starting a podcast, or who like to be guests on podcasts. I really want to form this collaborative, right, community over competition environment where we can all just
love that.
Come and grow. So I will send you that link too. And
and we'll get all this good stuff in the show notes. We'll get all those good things in the show notes. And we met on Facebook. So yes, friends, Facebook, I know I've heard people go, Facebook's dead. No, it's not. It's alive and growing. And, I say I'm not a big social media fan, but what I mean is I feel stressed trying to create graphics and doing stuff, but like, you want me to go live? I can go live all day long. I can do that. Like, I'd rather do a live video than to post a picture.
Right. Yeah.
I have to think of the copy to do that. But but all that good stuff. So there's so much good. People, my friends, go connect with Tara, go learn from her. You'll see me in her group because I'm going to totally get in there. And
can I give a podcast plug too?
Yes, yes.
It's not, we're still working on getting everything launched because we have been focusing on client work, but the Profitable Podcast School podcast will be coming out probably in September. So
yay.
There too.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so good. So the Profitable Podcast School podcast.
Yep.
I love it.
Super inception-y. I love it.
This is going to be good. So guys, someone to watch, someone you need to get in with and be connected with, because great things are happening here. I'm so glad I know you. I really am.
I'm so glad I know you.
I know. This is going to be fun. I love it. I love watching each other grow. Okay. Well, friends, let's give Tara a warm thank you for being here. I'm so glad you were here, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for tuning in today, my friends. I hope this episode helped you grow your business and unleash your success. If you enjoyed it, please drop us a review in Apple iTunes and let us know how we are helping you. Share it with your friends, and let's help all the women out there working those 9-to-5s and building their business on the side find a way to finally unleash their success. Did you know that success starts on the inside? I believe that to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to develop the mindset of a high achiever. This is why I have created my mindset cheat sheet, just to help you step into the mindset of a high achiever and start cracking your unique code for success. I want to show you how to think, act, and get the results of top performers. The best part is it's absolutely free. Just visit www.freemindsetcheatsheet.com and grab your copy today. Friend, it is time for you to unleash your success.